Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be doing some recommended Great League battles with Momita, one of the now top trainers in British Columbia, going all the way from Britain to BC. How appropriate. So anyways, we're going to lead off this matchup with Quagsire into Bronzong. Pretty good favorable matchup. And then here comes the Lanoon. I'm trying to actually draw a shield because I don't necessarily have a great switch in. I actually don't get the shield, so I'm just going to build up a little bit of energy, and then I'm going to switch out into... I should have switched out into... both of them are... Well, I probably should have switched out into Probopass, but anyways, I'm going to... This Grass Knot's only neutral because of the steel typing, and then whatever comes in, if it's going to be Bronzong, then I'm going to try to Hydro Pump it. If it's something else, then I'll see if I Flash Cannon. So it's being Fable, so I want to hit this Flash Cannon. I do resist the charms, but Empoleon's still a little squishy. So get the shield. So I'm in an alright position right now. Not amazing, I guess, because that Bronzong does have some energy. And I need to get rid of this Clefable. So I hit and then she switches out, and then I have a little bit of trouble switching, and then I make a few mistakes. One, going for the Earthquake is fine, like in case she thinks it's the bait or something. She ends up shielding, so I'm not in a great position. And then at this point in time, I was like, okay, just go for the Stone Edge. Just go for a little bit of chip damage because you're not going to make the Earthquake. Then I got greedy. I'm like, oh, I can go for the Earthquake and then finish this off and then make a for sure win. But you'll see that not going for the Stone Edge ended up being really costly for me because, and as well, I missed a couple bubbles here. But it wouldn't have made a difference because I don't end up making to this rock slide. So hitting that Stone Edge would have allowed me to KO the Bronzong with the Thunderbolt, then I could have. But it's just me getting greedy. I'm hoping that I could sneak in the Earthquake and guarantee the win. So then I have Dragonair, Wishcash, and Alolan Marowak. A pretty good team. Like no huge holes. No tons of mutual weaknesses. So this matchup's okay. I resist the Sparks. Magneton resists the Dragon Breath, but the Magnezone is so squishy. So I decided to be a little cheeky and switch out into Wishcash. Ends up well, I think this is okay. I guess I draw out the Roselia, and she ends up shielding, which is fine with me. That's actually works out pretty decent for me. And then I'm pretty sure this is my Fire Spin Alolan Marowak. So I come in and I'm like, yes, it is my Fire Spin Alolan Marowak. So I'm just going to farm it all the way down, hoping to take it out. Even if I have to burn a shield, I'm okay with that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to come in with Shadow Ball because, there's no way Bone Club's going to be better. Ends up, Bone Club would have been way better, not way better, the better situation. Just because it would have been double super effective against both her Pokemon. So I switch out into Dragonair, hoping to take it out. And then this Magneton is very low, so I decide just to finish off with Dragon Breath. And I had a shield up anyway, so no need for me to go into to do the Octodale. Anyway, so I have Alolan Golem, Dusclops, and Celio. Okay, and this is an interesting matchup. Alolan Graveler is a little bit tankier than Alolan Golem. So I'm just going to hit this Rock Blast. And I think I lose the Zero Shield because I'm slightly less tanky. But I do get the Rock Throw in, which is pretty clutch. But this tankiness difference definitely adds up for me. But I'm okay with that just because, it gives me the slight energy advantage. And because it's recommended, that might be enough. She might not necessarily have a hard counter for it. She comes into Xatu, which is an interesting move, but Xatu does have Ominous Wind, so it can do a decent amount of damage, but Zatu is very squishy. So I think I decide to shield, and then I'm like, oh shoot, she got the boost. So that's one of the benefits of running Ominous Wind. It's not that strong of a move, but so I decide to hit it with another, another Shadow Punch. And I switch out to Celio, hoping to get an energy advantage against her next Pokemon, and it's a good thing I switched out because it ends up being Roselia, and good thing I did that shield, just because like those Rage Release definitely would have done a ton of damage to me, and I'm able to take out the Roselia with Aurora Beam, and we did mutual feints, but I still have a Dusclops with a little bit of health left at least. So I take game number 3 in our recommended battles, and not a bad team. I have Crobat with Air Slash, I think Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, and then I have Dragonair and I forget what the last one is. But anyways, so these feint attacks are doing a little bit of damage. It's more damage oriented, and these Omnus Winds are not going to be super strong. I just hope that she doesn't get the buff, and I'm going to go for this Shadow Ball, hoping to KO if she doesn't shield, or I burn the shield, so I'm okay with that. And she ends up like not trying to feint me down, which she could have potentially, or farmed up a little bit more energy. But in these recommended matchups, you're not totally familiar with it. So I'm going to switch out into Dragonair, hoping to farm down. And I think I end up shielding. Dragonair is like, it's a great Pokemon for Great League, but it's not overly tanky. She switches out into Marsh Stomp. I always mix up Marsh Stomp and Swampert, as you probably tell in my videos. I switch out into Hypno just because I don't want to be matched up Hypno with Spiritomb, so I'd rather go with this matchup. And then I'll just take whatever these Surfs. I'm probably gonna hit by another one, and then I should be able to finish off with Confusions. And then I'm just gonna Ice Punch whatever comes in. Likely the Spiritomb to get sacked, but I'm okay with this just because I don't want the Spiritomb to hit me with super effective damage. Ends up being Roselia next, so Roselia is a pretty common pick for her. And then I want to hit one more Ice Beam, but I could finish it off potentially with Aqua Tail, but I'll just go for sure win with Dragon Pulse. And Dragon Pulse is like a really great nuke move for Dragonair. Not that great of a move in general, but with Dragonair's slightly higher than average attack stat, and coupled with Dragon Breath, it's like very hard for any Pokemon to deal with that. So I end up having Zatu, Pillow Swine, and Wishcash, which is okay. And then I had with this Swampert, not a great situation for me. I think she actually has multiple Swamperts, because this one hits me with a Sludge. And so I switch out to Wishcash, and then I'm going to hit a Mud Bomb. And she ends up hitting me with a Mud Bomb instead. So I think she has a Swampert with Surf, and one with Mud Bomb, Sludge Bomb. So she's going to hit me with another Mud Bomb because she farmed up a decent amount of energy. And I'm going to farm up a little bit, not too much, just because I don't want to get hit by another Mud Bomb. And I go for my Mud Bomb. Lots of Mud Bombs happening today. Then going to Cresselia. So I'm like, not a great situation for me. Because Cresselia is one of the best Pokemon in Great League, and those confusion damages are adding up. But thankfully I'm able to hit one more Mud Bomb, and I gotta bail. I can't let this Cresselia farm me up anymore. So I'm gonna switch out into Zatu, start burning some shields with these Ominous Winds. There's no stab on Ominous Wind, and Cresselia is really tanky, so it doesn't end up actually doing that much damage. So I'm gonna go for another Ominous Wind. But Zatu's moves are pretty uninspiring. I guess I could switch it to Future Sight maybe for better play. Ends up coming with Sunny Castform. So I'm just gonna go for this Ominous Wind. I really should have went for Aerial Ace, to be honest. just because I was only going to do one more charge move anyways. And so I'm in this situation. This is a terrible situation for me. Sunny Cast Form. This Weather Ball is going to definitely KO me. And I switch out and catch the Weather Ball. And then I'm like, okay, I really only have one shot, and that's like to hit this second Avalanche. And I just barely miss it, and she ends up getting to it just before me. And I figured that was going to be the case. She had the slight energy advantage and certainly the typing advantage in the end. So nice play with the Sunny Cast Form. So again, not a terrible team. Not super tanky. Wishcash is pretty tanky, but Venomoth and Alolan Sandslash are not. So we end up in this Wishcash versus Marshtomp matchup again. And I really should have went for Blizzard, or at least baited for Blizzard in one of these times. She ends up having Surf, which is a better move than Mud Bomb. Someone corrected me. I said Mud Bomb was 40-50. It's actually 40-55. And then Surf is 40-65. So it's quite a bit better, even though Wishcash is tankier. And then I end up like missing a couple bubbles here. So not great on my end. But it doesn't really matter. I end up getting to the Mud Bomb before she does, because I end up doing that method I showed yesterday just to get a little bit ahead on energy. And going got Quagsire. So not a great situation for me. Both my Pokemon have weaknesses to Quagsire, so I don't want to get locked in. My Venomoth does slightly better against Quagsire, especially with shields up. So this is not a great situation. The Stone Edge would almost for sure KO me, and then I don't have Poison Fang to bait. So I end up going in, hitting the Silver Wind, hoping that I can get a boost. And I switch out into Alolan Sandslash, hoping to get the Stone Edge, tank the Stone Edge with it, but that's quite alright. It ends up being a little bit better for me. I hit the Bulldoze, which does a lot of damage, and she really should have did Bulldoze against my Alolan Sandslash, but I'm not sure she's familiar with the typing with Alolan Sandslash, even though she did use it in her Ultra League Boulder Cup team, or at least had in her team. So I want to take out this Bronzong before it gets off one more Psyshock. And so she ends up hitting the Earthquake, which is great for me, because she definitely could have fired up a little bit, having one more shield, and then but she didn't know that I not have Poison Fang, so ends up I think she would have hit the Bulldoze. She definitely would have won. She would have farmed up a little bit more with Quagsire. She definitely would have won too. So I was like a little fortunate that I ended up being able to win that matchup. So I start off with Vigoroth into Alolan Muck. This is a favorable matchup for me. My counters are neutral, but Vigoroth is just a better Pokemon than Alolan Muck. And then I figured that this is going to be an Acid Spray. And it ends up being an Acid Spray. So I'm going to hit Body Slams, hopefully get a shield. And I do. And then I'm going to hit back-to-back to self-piggyback to get ahead on turns. And I do that as well. And I'm really hoping I can KO with counters. And then Lucario comes out. My defense is super low, so I really have to hit this Body Slam as soon as possible. And I switch out into Clefable. I think she's really desperate to get to the Shadow Ball, but just too much damage from Clefable, and Lucario is way too squishy. And I don't even necessarily need to even do a charge move, because Clefable with shields against any other Pokemon is going to be able to faint down with Charm. This Charm damage is so aggressive, so especially against Lone Raichu. No, especially against Raichu since it's so squishy. Okay, so not an amazing team, but not a terrible team either. Double weak to fighting. So this is an interesting matchup. My poison jabs are neutral. I probably should TM my Muck to because of into Wigglytuff, and which is an interesting decision. And I need to faint down, so I do faint down, and then I'm like, okay, if she comes back, no one's gonna shield this Dark Pulse. So I'm like, okay, let's go Dark Pulse. And I'm like, oh shoot, this is a Zoomerol in the back. Nope. And then I'm like desperate to hit this acid spray, not able to get to it. That acid spray definitely would have helped me in this particular matchup, because I potentially could have fainted down with no, I don't know if I would be able to faint down with Shadow Claws, but it would at least put me in like a slightly better situation. So I'm not in a great situation either way. As soon as my second shield goes down, like I am in massive trouble, and I don't really have a choice because, yeah, just because I really need to hit this charge move, burn this last shield, and she ends up not using it. So I'm like, oh, great, I am not in a good situation. I'm desperate to try to hit this Shadow Ball. It would have been nice to have return in those situations. Just because I would definitely would have been able to get a charge move off and be able to bait a little bit better. And then at this point in time, I'm like, okay, it's GG if she has Grass Knot. But I think this is only single move because she ends up only hitting me with Stone Edges, which really just delays my inevitable defeat because these rock throws are only hit for neutral damage and she still has a shield. So nice shield play. If she would have used the shield on a Zoomerol, then potentially I would have had a little bit better play, because I could have farmed down her Zoomerol with a Alolan Graveler. So really, really good play on her part. Though she probably needs Grass Knot on her, what is that? What Pokemon is that? Oh, man, I can't even remember that Pokemon. What is that grass? Oh, man, it's going to bother me. Anyways, okay, it doesn't matter. So, can't remember every Pokemon's name. Let me take a look. It's in Jungle. Too many cups to remember. Where is this? Oh, Cradily. Oh my gosh, can't believe I didn't remember that. So I'm like, okay, I'm in okay position, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I am in absolute terrible position, and I don't shield my Hitmonchan because I kind of need the shields for later. And then he goes Girafarig. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible for me. I don't really have much of a play against Girafarig, so I'm just trying to do as much damage as I can. And then I'm going to come into Bronzong, just Bronzong does double resist the confusion damage with Psychic and the Steel typing. And then I 100% gamble here that she doesn't have Thunder or doesn't know that she needs to use Thunder. She has me with Psychic. I'm like, okay. I'm going to gamble a second time that she doesn't realize that Thunder is the better move, because Thunder would almost for sure KO me at this range. And then she doesn't, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to double Psyshock. This is my plan. Double Psyshock. Hopefully burn both shields. And I don't know why I went for another confusion there. Go for another Psyshock. And then the only way I can actually win is to switch out into into Lantern. And I'm like, oh, do I shield or not? But I'm like, this is my own, like, if I get hit by an Earthquake, I'm GG'd. So I just go for the Hydro Pump and I'm able to KO her Swampert. And that was actually like a pretty scary situation. Obviously I would have lost if she would have hit me with Thunder. But, you know, all these matchups and these recommended are so difficult to remember everything. So then I have like an okay team. So I'm like, okay, please be Charm. Please be Charm. Ends up being Zen Headbutt, which is not a great move, but also not a great situation for me. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go build up with Spirit Tomb. I'm going to hit a Shadow Ball because she's likely not going to shield. And then I'm like, I'm in like a really bad situation because I have Golbat and Alolan Sandslash in the back. Yes, I have Bulldoze and Alolan Sandslash, but this is like my only play is to try to get the boost. So I'm like, I don't end up getting the boost. If I would have got the boost, I would have been left with like a decent amount of health left, and that next Ominous Wind probably would have KO'd the Mastodon. So I'm like, okay, I obviously can't come in Golbat, but I don't want Golbat to be lined up with Latias. So I'm like, okay, she knows I have Bulldoze. I'm gonna build up, gonna bait her shield. I'm hoping, praying I get the shield, and I get the shield. So I was like, okay, that's huge. I need to shield this because it's likely a flamethrower, which would be double super effective against ice and super effective against steel. So I'm like, please don't shield this. Please don't shield this. And then she doesn't shield. And I'm like, okay, that's huge for me. She comes with Latias. I'm not really sure why. And she ends up switching out. And I'm like, oh, okay, she can Raichu. I get you. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, I could have hit it with an Ice Punch, but that's likely not going to be enough. So I'm going to hit it with a Bulldoze, burn my last shield, and then KO. And then I'm hoping to... I didn't switch out right away to my Golbat. Is that I want to put pressure on her to make a decision. Do you want to farm down and risk getting hit by an Ice Punch? Or do you want to use your charge move and then fade you down? Then I have like a fresh Golbat versus a 0 energy Latias. So anyways, those are recommended battles. If you guys enjoyed this type of video, let me know down in the comment section below. And thank you, Momedia, again for the battles. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video.